Hey everyone!
Hey, did you pack your suitcase? I have a dismembered body in mine. What do you have in yours?
I love that so much. I love Gherkin's Garika.
That was a good episode.
It was a really good episode.
Her name was Garika Gordon.
Garika.
But Mark likes to call her Gherkin's Garika.
That's my nickname for her.
I couldn't pronounce her name. I kept fucking up her name in the last episode.
Yeah, insert episode artwork.
We were talking about a murderer, ultimately. And
Yeah.
I kept butchering her name more than she could butcher a body.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. She was
During the pandemic.
She was a kind of stupid in her motives.
Yeah, she definitely was. But I mean, that's what we love here at Bizarre Buffet.
We like the messy stories.
We do. We need messy. We don't
Yeah.
need these like clean, precise fucking people. We need messy.
Yeah, well, speaking of messy, you want to get messy and dirty?
Oh my
Yes.
god, I can't wait.
We're going to get horny.
Horny.
Oh.
All right.
This will be-
Show of hands. How many of you listening are horny for this? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see us with our hands up. We're all
Yeah,
horny
both.
for it.
So since we're all so horny. Rated X. All right, so the question we're going to start with is, what is your biggest sexual fetish or turn on?
Oh God, Mark, really?
Oh my God,
Is this
really?
the question?
This is the question?
This is the question.
This is Bizarre
Holy shit.
Buffet podcast.
Oh God, I don't know. This is an awkward question.
This is an awkward question. I have family members.
Oh,
want
I-
to
yeah.
Oh my God,
Exactly.
Dwayne.
Uncle Doug and Terry listen, Mark.
Okay, so we'll
And Phyllis
okay,
Wilson.
So we'll keep this in. We're not going to answer. All right,
Okay.
we all know what I'm into. But
Yeah, let's. Yeah.
his name is Mark Bluestein.
Huh? Oh my God! Wow! After all, it's been 86 years, and Jen and I were just talking about.
We just
Okay.
It's been 86
Okay.
years.
It's been 86 years. I could just smell the fresh paint.
Okay, so how about this? Because I had a feeling that my question was going to be taboo.
Yeah. Not that we're prudes
So-
or
Not
anything,
that we're prudes.
but there are a lot of people who
Yeah.
listen that this is awkward.
Yeah, no, my parents.
Yeah, and your
watch it,
your
listen to
parents don't want to hear about our sexcapades,
Maureen
Mark.
and Pete don't want to hear about it.
The
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
Yeah, the last thing your parents need to hear about is our sexual fetishes. Thank you.
I'm pissing off and upsetting our own podcast.
Yeah, but that's
Okay,
what
whatever.
makes us listenable and fun.
Okay, so let's go from
This-
like
that's-
NC-17 to PG-13.
That's
Okay.
Patreon
What-
content. Come to Patreon.
What is a sexual fetish?
This is another okay.
that you might not be into, but interests you. Or
Okay,
that
good
you would
question.
or that you would want to know more about. And
Okay.
we're not-
Adult babies.
We're not
Adult
Yes,
babies.
adult babies.
Yeah, Jen and I agree.
Adult babies, but something else that I've always been intrigued by is like the whole foot fetish thing.
Yeah.
And how like people literally just take pictures of their feet and get fucking money for it.
I know.
I'm trying.
I agree.
mean, like
I agree.
people go out and buy nice high heels and like
Yeah.
take pictures and put them on their OnlyFans site, and they
Cameras
get
and-
paid like a couple $100 just to show their feet.
I know. I don't know.
I'm curious to know like what the hype is about that. And I
Yeah.
also just want to know more about adult babies.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you
always.
are an adult baby,
3 years later.
3 years later, and
Yeah.
100, and how many episodes are we?
100. This
102,
is 102 or 3 or 4.
103
that.
episodes later, and I still want an adult baby on this show.
And why have none of you fulfilled Jen Wilson's request? It's really not that big of a
really
request.
upset.
And again,
Get it together.
We're not kink shaming.
We're not.
This is something
No.
like we're all interested in and support.
Like,
you know?
and-
So like Debbie Darling 1 2 3 4 5 6 on
Fuck
YouTube.
you.
Like I don't need you coming for us after
No.
this episode
Yeah.
because you like to come for us for like
Yeah.
the dumbest shit.
Exactly. And let's
I'm
just
looking at you.
Yeah, and let's
on
just
YouTube.
Yeah.
Debbie Darling 1 2
Debbie-
3 4 5
Yeah.
6 A B C D E F
Exactly.
G. I forget what numbers are at the end of your name.
And you know something? On behalf of all 3 of us here at Bizarre Buffet, I replied because Debbie Darling made a comment saying that, oh, you know, people were murdered. That's not funny. And I had to explain that, you know,
We're not
we
making
are
fun of people
No,
that are
We're
and
not
murdered.
making fun of murder. We're not
No.
making fun of people who died and killers.
exactly. Obviously, it's a very terrible thing. We are I would say this is not a defining term, but if you want to classify us, we are a true crime comedy podcast.
Yes.
And it's not comedy in the sense of, oh, how funny that somebody was murdered. It's our personas.
We're funny.
Yeah.
We're funny.
We don't need to explain ourselves.
No,
to this
we
fucking-
don't.
to this dweeb.
Exactly.
So-
Now, fuck her. Fuck
Again,
you, Debbie.
fuck you, Debbie,
You fucking bitch. Eat my ass after a shit, Debbie.
Oh, that's a fetish right there.
That is a fetish. Not
All
kink
right,
shaming.
So, for this week's episode, we're going to talk about a very taboo subject.
Yeah.
Which is sex fetishes.
Oh.
And like I said, just put it out there, we're not kink shaming. We just want to shed light on some more unusual sex
It's
fetishes.
kind of like the furry episode that we did.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my God. Yes. I want to be a furry. Insert episode.
Episode
Artwork here.
9.
Yes.
Episode 79, Let's Get Furry.
Let's
which
get
is one of
furry.
Jen's. And then we did another sexual fetish. We've actually done a few, right? So we also did episode 45, My Second Life, where we talk about virtual reality
Insert
world.
episode art here.
We spoke about this in the last
Yeah.
episode
And-
too, I think.
And then also early on, one of our first episodes, which is episode number 3, we had a lesson in BDSM.
With Mr. fucking Dark.
Insert
Hey, Mr.
episode
Dark.
art
Artwork here. Yes.
Ball gag on me.
I know.
Put a bird on it. Put a big gag on
Put a
it.
gag on it. Mr. Dark, he was
All right.
I hope he's doing well.
So
Me too.
let's get horny.
Yeah, we're getting hornier.
So
Is that going to be the name of the episode?
Let's get horny.
Oh, I hope it is.
Well, this is an interactive episode. So
Oh.
think of it like a game show.
Oh my God.
Ooh, I love a good game
Yeah.
show. So is it like, are you Bob Barker and we're on The Price is Right?
Yeah,
No way.
I'm one of the
Are you
Barker
gonna?
beauties.
Are you
Barker
gonna? Are you
beauties.
gonna touch us inappropriately like Bob Barker
Yeah,
does?
make us kiss you.
Which, by the way, Jerry and I, we were watching like the old school Family Feuds.
With the pinky ring, dude.
Yes, and he like kisses the female contestants
On the lips.
lip.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Barker did that too.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, he was so nasty.
Such a weird time.
It was such a weird time. The 70s and 60s were a very weird time for game shows. It was basically like, oh, let me touch your tits, you know? It was like weird.
Or like when he's like with a contestant, they're like hugging each other. They have their arms around each other. It's weird. Okay, so I'm ready to play.
All right,
Bob.
So, I mean,
Bob.
If I went on Price is Right, I would put my tongue down Bob Barker's throat. To see
Oh,
what
I
he'd
know.
do. Here's the first question.
Okay.
Hey.
I'm going
Lay it
to
on me.
name. I'm going to name a sexual fetish. Okay. I want you guys to guess what it is.
Okay.
All right.
I love this. Okay.
This is so
Okay.
fun.
Ready to do this, Mark?
We're ready.
right.
Jen and I are like with our pom-poms.
Yeah. Okay.
Hercules.
Here is the first fetish I'm bringing up.
Okay.
It's called Formicophilia. What?
Formicophilia.
Formicophilia. Formicophilia.
That's people sexually attracted to Formica.
Like the wood, like the fake,
Like the paneling.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Formica is, so I'm just gonna go with what Mark said. And I'm gonna just whatever Mark says, I'm gonna say. Okay.
I would advise you to go with
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you think it has to do with Formica, like IKEA furniture?
Yeah.
Right. Like
Oh my
IKEA.
God, is this really people obsessed with IKEA furniture?
Oh, God damn it.
Not even close. Okay, are we ready?
I stood behind my choice for us.
okay.
too. I'm
That would have
sorry.
been, if I heard that would have been my guess too. Like
okay.
someone sexually attracted to Formica. No.
Yeah.
Okay, Formicophilia is taking sexual interest and pleasure derived from small animals like insects and snails
What?
crawling over one's body.
Oh, shut up.
Oh my God.
There's some.
Ew.
We're going to
Good.
touch on a few things about this because I did some research.
Okay,
It's
I'm
very
sorry, I didn't mean
interesting.
to
So this
say
is
ew.
like something that people are actually into.
It absolutely is.
I just want to apologize for saying ew. I'm not going to edit it out, but like I have an aversion to insects.
Debbie Darling, don't come for
Yeah,
us.
fucking Debbie Darling.
No, bugs are gross. Like ew.
They are.
Like,
They
freak me
are.
out, right?
But you know what?
Exactly.
To some people, it's a turn on. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I guess. I guess as well. Yeah.
Someone must really love a bug's life.
Yeah, no kink
So,
shaming.
No kink shaming. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, This fetish often involves the application of insects to the genitals, but other areas of the body may also be the focus. You know, we're talking nipples, armpits, maybe feet.
Oh.
Okay.
Ankles, if you're into ankles. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Listen, some people probably like ankles.
And
more power to you.
The desired effect may be a tickling. They might like the tickle sensation.
You know what, though? Like, I mean, I guarantee you it's like a sensory thing, too.
Yeah.
They might like...
As Mark is sitting here laughing.
I'm sorry.
So the desired effect might be a tickling sensation. Some like it for a stinging sensation.
Like bees?
Bees,
Or
wasps,
like, yeah.
fire ants.
Fire ants, yeah.
Oh.
In some case, people prefer like slugs because they like the slimy
What
sensation.
about like leeches?
Oh, that's probably one.
That's probably like a sting and a slug combined.
And sucking your blood.
Yes. Oh, vampire.
Yes. Vampire leeches.
Yes.
Or another thing is people might have an arousal to the infliction and providing psychological distress on that other person. So if I took like a cup of maggots and poured it on you, and you'd be like, no, oh, it's so gross. Like the person pouring the maggots on you might like be aroused.
You know what? These people are the ones that should like compete on Fear Factor, because it would be this would be like a no-brainer for them.
They'd be great. No, seriously. Like that would be an ideal cast member. Yeah.
And just to give some scientific facts, this term was coined by a gentleman named Ratnan Dewaraja. I can't say his last
Daraja.
name.
Mr. Daraja. Dr. Daraja.
DD.
Dewaraja. It's Ratnan Dewaraja and John Money in 1986. So you might ask yourself, like, who are these people, right? Like, there's got to be examples of people that are into this.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the first reported study of somebody into Formicophilia. This person, his name is Minor Hinson. As a young child, Minor Hinson began keeping ants in a cupboard in his bedroom as a hobby. He was around 9 years old.
He had an ant farm?
He had like an ant farm, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, at this specific age, he enjoyed the ticklish feeling of the ants crawling on his legs. At 10 years old, this is a little sad, but at 10 years old, his father caught him having like a sexual act with another boy. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And when this happened, he was beaten. So when he entered his teen years, he added snails and cockroaches to his collection, which became a major time consumer for him. And he openly admitted that at this age, he would let ants crawl on his legs while pleasuring himself.
Oh.
Now,
Okay.
this is going to be a scandalous episode.
I love it.
Now, by the time he was 28 years old, he would continue to do this, self pleasuring. I don't know if you can say masturbation. Is that like a word you can say on YouTube and podcasts?
I think so.
Well, he can.
We'll find out soon enough.
Find out,
Yeah,
right?
if the video is flagged, we'll find out.
He continued to self-pleasure himself several times a week, and then he started to have like the cockroaches crawl on his legs and his cojones, his balls. And he even had snails crawl on his nipples and his thingamajiggy that he was pleasuring. And he admitted, he was like,
oh boy.
He said that he was like, I'm disgusted by this.
Oh boy.
But he simply could not get pleasure from normal, air quotes, normal sexual activities. Now, I will say, when I was doing my research for this, Mark had no idea what I was doing.
No.
And I said to Mark, I was like,
really
Mark, I'm going to give some of your scandalous episodes a run for their damn money.
Yeah, you are, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, this is a good
I
one.
am.
I'm gonna have to do a really scandalous one one day.
It was eventually suggested that this sex fetish of his developed as a result from the trauma caused by his terrible dad. Okay.
Okay.
Now, another case is brought up in more recent times in 2012 by another guy. He said that when he was 14, he saw an ice cream stick or like cone covered with ants. And he wondered what it would feel like if his wiener was the ice cream cone with the ants crawling over it. And sure enough, because it is Bizarre Buffet Podcast,
Oh my God.
it wasn't long till he let a family of ants explore one of his areas. Are we okay, everyone?
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine.
You fixed my microphone.
He had a penchant for fire ants, especially.
Ooh, ow.
Ow.
And, yeah,
Ow is
so,
yeah.
Yep, ow is right. And he continued this into adulthood.
Gross.
And he
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to stop with the gross and the ill because there's probably listeners out there, and I guarantee you,
No.
whatever this is going to be titled, our YouTubers are going to really go down this rabbit hole and find this, and then they're going to hate us.
Wait till you get the
So I'm
rest of it.
sorry.
No,
I'm
you
not
were-
laughing or saying
No.
ew. It's just
okay. When we say something like ooh and gross, I'm just going to give a disclaimer here. For us, it's not that we're shaming it, but it's just
No, they
like
know that.
we respect people who find an attraction or sexual gratification in whatever it is that you do. But for us, we personally can't imagine it. But it's like, and I think the general public would agree that like, oh my God, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So we come from that perspective, not that like we're putting it down.
No.
That's all I have to
I'm
say.
mortified of bugs. Like,
I am too.
a fly
Me too.
flew at me and I screamed.
Yeah, but it's
I
like,
am good for killing one. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
I'm usually the one that's like killing the bug in a room.
Jen, you're
Same.
going to get canceled.
Yeah, no, we're
You killed the bug.
We
You
got a
get
chance.
I'm
That I
sorry.
mean, realistically speaking, that could even get us canceled. So why don't we just continue with what we're
Let's just
doing?
continue.
I
Because-
killed a spider at work the other day. It attacked
For
me.
shame.
How dare you?
It
had a
attacked me.
knife.
It said very
It
mean
probably
things to me.
deserved it.
I
It was
know.
huge as fuck. Anyways, okay.
Scary.
So, to know more about like this sexual fetish, Vice did a small like video feature documentary thing about Formicophilia. And in this, you meet people who are formicophiliacs, and it gives a diverse amount of reasons as to why this could be a fetish or why it is a fetish. You know, they talk about the physical sensation, the unpredictability of how the bugs will move, right?
Yeah,
It's
will
gonna
they
be
go up your
different.
urethra? Will they not?
It could also
Scary.
There's also some people that believe that this sexual fetish could be one's desire to be deeper, to have a deeper connection with nature, which I mean,
I don't buy that,
Okay.
but okay.
and then also it could be like a pain sensation, like you
I
have the
believe
bugs in the
that.
butt, yeah. And one thing that stood out to me where my jaw dropped was one gentleman spoke about how he would take an earthworm and coax it to go into his urethra.
I just said urethra.
Yeah.
You did.
And
Thank you.
he, like, when I heard this, like, my pearls were a clutched.
Oh boy.
He later explained.
those pearls, Mike.
Yeah, I'm
he
gonna
li-
clutch mine too.
I'm like, ugh, like, I just, my penis hurts thinking about it, but that's fine. But he later explained that worms don't like warm places. So the deeper they go into the urethra, the warmer it gets, and they eventually need to turn around.
Oh God.
And they call that double worming because the worm needs to go backwards up the urethra.
What are people getting up to in their extra time?
Double worming.
Double
So-
worming?
Yeah, so like on a,
Fuck?
on a deeper level, he further explains that like penises are known to be like the penetrators.
Yeah,
right?
well, obviously.
But having his hoo-ha or penis or whatever penetrated by a worm, it's a shift against gender norms.
Just have a woman fuck you then with a strap on.
yeah, or-
Sorry
yeah.
For our
But
listeners.
I think it's because
Sorry, everybody.
like the male penis is the penetrator, and now the penetrative organ is being penetrated itself. So that's where it stands.
Well,
It's like a symbolic gesture.
It kind of reminds me of like something called sounding, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where people shove like metal rods into their pee holes.
Oh, great.
And it goes,
Oh, I need a soundbite of Jen going. Can you say it again, Jen?
Oh, great.
Yeah. That needs to be a soundbite that I put on our board here at Bizarre Buffet.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
it most certainly is a thing.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the first one. So
Oh, there's more.
there's three, and it won't be long.
Oh, it's okay. We're all in it now.
Okay. So
The next one, I can't wait to guess what it is.
so now we went through fetish number 1.
Okay, yeah, we did.
What's behind door number 2?
Oh,
wait.
Bob.
So behind fetish door number 2, we have something called Climacophilia,
You are turned on by the weather.
like the climate.
Like the climate.
That's a good guess. Climacophilia.
You like the rain pouring down on your skin.
That's a really good fucking guess.
So do you think like people potentially could like strip naked and lie naked in the rain and let the raindrops
Any sorts of
penetrate
weather,
them?
whatever weather turns
Okay.
you on.
Can you use climacophilia in a sentence?
Yeah, Climacophilia is part of the Bizarre Buffet podcast.
Oh, you bitch. That is not what I meant, and you know
it's
it.
spelled Climacophilia.
I'm going to say it has to do with the weather.
Okay.
Climacophilia. I feel like it has something to do with rocks.
Okay, like rock climbing.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, let's
But
have
not because
sex on a
climb,
rock.
like CLIM is in the word.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. I have a feeling like it's nature related too.
Okay. Are we ready for the answer?
Yes.
Sure.
Unfortunately, you're both wrong.
Oh, I had a feeling we both were.
you're
but
both wrong.
We tried.
Well,
So-
we've got 2 out of 3 wrong already.
Yeah.
So we've lost this game.
Yeah, we're at the
Wait till your third one.
bonus Jeopardy is
third
not going to
one's-
be our avenue either, I don't think.
No.
Okay. Climacophilia. It's the sexual arousal when falling down the stairs.
Okay,
That's so hot.
I see it.
Horny. Wow.
Yeah. So
I would not have guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed that either. But now that you say it and you like put it in a sentence, it's like, okay.
Yeah, see, that's why. Like, I was trying to do game show style, and I was like, "Can you use it in a sentence?"
And this
after
bitch
I
here
tripped
is
and
like,
fell down the steps,
I had
developed
climacophilia. That's what you should have said.
Exactly.
Well,
That's what you should have
I didn't want to
said.
give it away. Okay, so with this,
I tried.
You did.
With this sexual fetish, unfortunately, there has not really been much research on this, and I did a really solid deep dive on this, and I found only one thing, and it was a post that was on Reddit by someone who did, I guess, an even deeper dive about this sexual fetish than me. Yeah. So what was concluded from this is that though people might have a fear of steps, which is climacophobia, right? Which is very
The
much
fear
real.
of going up the stairs or going down, either one.
Either or just
Good
or steps
question.
in general, right? There's really no factual evidence out there of any person having a sexual fetish of falling down the stairs
Okay.
ever. But yet this phrase still exists, right?
Interesting.
So is it possible that someone can have a sexual fetish of falling down steps? Sure, absolutely.
I'm sure it is.
You know, there was this movie, I can't think of the title of it right now, but people that are like sexually aroused by car accidents and car crashes.
A Dirty Shame, a John Waters film.
Yeah.
And that was based off of people who had like head injuries, who had these like unusual sexual fetishes because of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in theory, this fetish exists. It's just that no one has really come out and been like, "Oh, I'm aroused by falling down the stairs," or people falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
But I think in general, stairs can be fetishized. You know, it could be like the thrill of having sex in a public stairwell.
Yeah.
or just having sex on a flight of steps because it's abnormal and it's not the place to have sex.
Right.
You know. Also, I think like with steps, you can get into some like really groovy like new sex positions.
Yeah.
Right?
Hi, Uncle Doug and Aunt Terry.
Yeah, like
Hey, Pete and Maureen.
Hi, Pete and Maureen. Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
like, having sex-
Hi, everybody.
doing it on a spiral staircase. I mean, like,
Danger.
very dangerous, and maybe you'll have a thrill on that. Like,
Yeah, it could be.
Who knows? So, Climacophilia is more or less a hypothetical kink.
Okay.
So yeah, I was actually really excited about that one.
I love that.
But unfortunately, like I said,
If
there's not much
anyone
out there.
If anyone listening,
Has Climacophilia.
please let us know.
Please let us know.
Because we want you on the podcast. We'll give you a platform. We will. We'll
Exactly.
devote an episode to you.
And if you want to pay me money to like fall down the steps sexually,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Well, if any of our listeners are Climacophilias, when my mother was pregnant with me,
Did she fall down the stairs?
she did. She fell down the steps with me, and that could explain a lot about why I am.
It probably that makes a lot of sense.
Right, doesn't it? Now that you think about it, yeah. I don't personally have a sexual attraction to steps, but you know what? Hey, the night is young.
All right, are we ready for the last one?
Yeah,
I'm ready to get it wrong.
I can't wait. I'm ready to get it wrong. Ready to get it wrong. Both of
All
us.
right,
Yeah.
That's behind door number 3, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, fetish number 3. It's called Ammophilia. 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 What do you think that sexual kink is?
You are attracted to guns and weapons, and you do dirty things with them.
I was going to say that ammunition or like lizards.
Lizards.
Yeah.
How about this? What if it's lizards with guns?
Oh, that would be so hot and horny.
Yes.
I hope so. I hope they have a task force.
All right, I'm ready for it to be wrong.
All right.
Yeah, in the desert.
I hate to say it, you're both very wrong.
Of course we
but
are.
I would have thought it, Jen. I would have agreed with you.
Yeah.
I would have thought it had to do with like sexual arousal by bullets and guns and like
Yeah.
maybe, like
Swords and
Because-
machetes.
Yeah, exactly.
things in your-
Because realistically speaking, I'm
Grenades.
sure there is a term or a grouping of individuals who are like that. I'm sure that is a classification. It's probably just not this one.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Absolutely. All right, so are you ready to find out what ammophilia is?
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Ammophilia is arousal by quicksand.
Oh.
Definitely would not have seen that
Definitely would not have seen
coming.
that one coming.
No.
But could it
Quicksand.
be lizards with guns in quicksand?
Now that is
I
a
think Godzilla
new.
would like that.
That would be
Oh
good.
yeah, that would be horny.
All of this really started in 1955.
55.
In 86 years.
And
60 years.
the name Ammophilia, right? So it should be noted that there's no actual word for this sex fetish. I kind of made it up because ammo is Latin for sand.
Okay.
And philia,
So you essentially made up this name yourself.
I made the name up myself, but
You heard it first.
You heard
listeners.
it first.
Yeah, Ammophilia.
it is most definitely a sexual fetish that exists. There are people
Who are
into
turned on by being engulfed by quicksand?
correct. It's actually bigger than you would expect.
Wow.
So yeah, I made up this because, like I said, ammo is Latin for sand. Philia means fondness or abnormal love
Sand fondness.
or something. So yes, quicksand fetish / porn absolutely exists. I've seen plenty of it. in doing
Really?
my research. Yes.
You looked it up?
I looked it up.
Where
What
can
does
we
it
find
what does this
quicksand
What
porn?
does
Oh.
this consist of?
Is it on Pornhub?
Just look up quicksand porn, you'll find it.
Oh,
okay,
shut up.
so let me tell you. Let's just talk about this for a minute, okay?
Our jaws are dropped.
I
For
know,
those of you who
literally.
are not
Jaws are
Yeah.
watching
dropped.
on YouTube.
Jen and I are just looking at each other with like the drop jaw emoji. Yeah.
So
no.
all this really kind of started in 1955 when this film called Tarzan came out, and there were several scenes involving quicksand. Shortly after, Americans especially started to have this like irrational fear of falling into quicksand and drowning.
Wow.
Now, after that Tarzan movie in 1955, over 35 movies were released involving quicksand.
Wow.
And in the 1950s, you know, it should be noted that they couldn't really film sex scenes in movies because everyone was like all uptight.
Well, of course. They still are today.
So in that like Tarzan movie, in all these movies with quicksand, these scenes were very like sexually charged. It wasn't really about falling into quicksand. It was about the closeness, like the contact that the male and the female had together.
Oh.
It wasn't until later in the 1970s did quicksand go from like sexually charged to like a gimmick or like a parody in movies. This fetish is most popular among men who grew up during this era in the 50s who watched these movies. My theory is that a lot of these women that were sinking in quicksand, they were always pretty. They're always like, you know, wearing bikinis or like scantily. And it's always like the man that has to rescue them. Now, 40 years later, there's a community that truly fetishizes this.
Oh.
And one man by the name of Dave Ledowski, who runs Mud Puddle Visuals. It's basically like
Mud Puddle
Visuals. It's like a high-end film company that specializes in making like erotic quicksand videos.
Do they still exist?
Yes, they absolutely do. Now, this gentleman, Dave, claims that his first orgasm that he ever experienced
from quicksand
was him was him it was him fantasizing one of his
from quicksand.
Yeah, he was fantasizing one of his schoolmates being naked in quicksand and mud. Now, his films often make homages to Gilligan's Island and other shows and films with like iconic quicksand scenes. Often these women will be like topless or wearing like little bikinis and they're venturing through the wilderness or they're held captive. Eventually, the crescendo is them falling into the pit of quicksand where they'll struggle, they'll sink, they'll be moaning and screaming. I mean, there was one video.
It's quicksand.
Like, there was this one video where this like woman was naked in like a metal cage, and they threw her into the quicksand in this metal cage.
Just went going down.
Sank.
Is quicksand like a real thing, or is this like a thing that was like made up in movies? Do we know?
I think I've never seen quicksand.
That's a good question. I have not either. Is it like a sinkhole?
I don't know.
I think it could be a sinkhole, or it could just be like something like where you're not really trapped, but you're just like sink into it, like a bog or mud.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, it's a real thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah. I thought it was maybe something. Maybe it's like just more dramatic in film.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah, they're probably like, no.
What, like, I always think of that scene from Neverending Story, that really depressing
Never-ending
scene
with the horse scene.
with the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, hey kids, stay away from quicksand.
Yeah.
Wherever it might.
Don't watch Neverending Story.
Yeah, don't watch that, and don't have a sexual attraction to quicksand because most importantly because it's dangerous. Not because we're trying to discourage you from your attractions, but because quicksand is dangerous and it can kill.
Yep. I just burped earlier.
Well, that's lovely.
Remember we had to cut last episode, the Garika Gordon episode, because I burped.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of bodily functions. We're 3 human beings. Give us a break.
Don't hate us.
There could be people with like a burp fetish, so we're gonna.
There are people with a burp fetish. Burpophilia. I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure of it.
So this guy Dave Ledowski, who has this like quicksand film company, he likes to describe the initial fall into the pit like the equivalent of being penetrated, leading to a full submersion, which is the orgasm.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I can see the connection, I guess.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And he insists that these are all high-end production.
Wow.
And it's actually kind of cool because they make like these man-made quicksand pits. And there's like a lighting crew, sound. So like these are actual like big productions.
Wow.
You know, one of the most famous quicksand fetish models, her name is Nessie.
Like the Loch Ness Monster.
Exactly.
Nessie?
She says
Wow.
that she modeled her name like the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my god.
She's a quicksand model.
She's a
Nessie, the quicksand model.
I love it.
She feels that, you know, her quicksand fetishism is just as rare as the Loch Ness Monster.
I would say I agree with her.
Yeah.
So she's fucking awesome.
She is.
Now, for over a decade, she's been doing videos like sinking into, you know, mud pits, quicksand. She'll do it in princess outfits. Often she'll find these wet places, you know, by herself. So she'll like investigate. She'll be like, this might be a good place for a quicksand video. So she does like all the scouting herself.
Wow.
She's also very adamant about not sharing her locations with people.
I bet.
I would imagine
Yeah,
so.
yeah, truly.
And once again, Vice beat me to this.
I hope they don't go really bankrupt because I hear they are.
So Vice did a documentary about
I
this.
hope not. They do some really good shit.
They
great
do.
things, yeah.
Vice is awesome.
So, yeah, and one thing I found really funny, though, is that on the thing with Vice that she did like a quicksand video, and she wore a replica of the Titanic's Heart of the Ocean because
yeah.
Because-
We'll talk about that later.
Because she wanted, because like the heart of the ocean was heavy and sank to the bottom of the ocean. She wanted it to help her sink deeper into the quicksand.
86 years.
It's been 86 years and I can still smell the fresh paint.
Yeah.
The sheets had never been strapped on.
And the China has never been used.
The China has never been used. Yeah. Wow. I like her.
I like Nessa.
Nessie. Nessie or Nessa?
Nessie, like the Loch
Nessie,
Ness
the
Monster.
quicksand model.
And again, this guy, he's not like the only one. There's another gentleman by the name of Fred, and he likes to take on
Fred Nessie.
And he takes like a lot. This guy Fred, he's like based in Arkansas, and he takes online requests. So, hey Arkansas,
we have to say hi to our friend Nick and Tay-Tay, who live in Arkansas.
Nick and
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you see them, let us know.
Thank you both for subscribing and
listening and being friends of us in the show.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. So this guy based in Arkansas, he'll take like online requests. So like, for example, someone was like, I want someone to sink in quicksand wearing a Star Trek uniform.
Cute.
Done.
Okay.
Wow.
So
specific.
You ask, he'll make it happen. So now, just to wrap this all up, right? In doing this deep dive, I encountered that most of this was straight porn. And it all involves like naked women in these
The gays
pits.
don't like this particular genre?
You know, not really. So this one woman, like she had hot pink hair, she threw herself into a mud pit with a vibrator.
Okay.
I saw another one where someone was dressed up in a furry costume.
Cute.
Like headpiece, bodysuit, fur and all.
The whole outfit.
The furry, I think it was like a wolf, sank into the mud pit.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my god.
And this
is like,
was a request?
I'm assuming so because it was so specific.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in doing this research and looking at this, like it's really rare that you're going to actually find men in this submersive quicksand.
So it's more specific to women.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more specific to women.
Horny.
And, you know, that's basically like everything that I got. So, I mean, like these sexual fetishes, we have, you know, people into bugs.
Yeah.
The people into falling down the steps, and now
That's my favorite.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like the step one.
But I also like Nessie.
Oh, Nessie.
The quicksand model.
All of these are great.
Yeah,
They are.
Those are the 3 that I picked.
That was awesome, Mark.
Wow,
you.
that was truly fantastic.
I uncovered many more. Maybe down the line we'll do a sequel. to this
Yeah,
episode.
do you guys want a sequel?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Let us know.
I want to know about your kinks.
Absolutely. And do you want us to come up with special fetishes? Because, the place to do that would be on patreon.com/bizarrebuffet.
Yep.
Or you could slide into our DMs on Instagram.
Yeah,
Bizarre
absolutely.
Buffet.
Or even on Facebook at Bizarre Buffet Podcast. Or on our website, we do have a contact form there at Bizarre Buffet. So contact us. Let us know what you think. Please subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Please make sure to leave a review. All those things really help us a lot, And I guess until next time, I'm Markophilia, and I'm attracted to people named Mark. And he's right there.
I am Nessie. The quicksand model.
Oh my God, what a beautiful being. I love it, Nessie.
And I'm a big old leather daddy.
Oh.
It's been 86 years.